Thank you so much for joining us this is our fourth back to school open house. So welcome to the fourth back to school open house, Active Approaches to Suicide Prevention. Next slide. Thank you so much for joining us these past few weeks. We've had so much fun showcasing so many different resources that the Resource Directory's team has developed for the Orange County school community. So we welcome those that participated in the past and then the new ones that are joining us here today. So we're thankful for your participation today. Next slide. Also, for those that were here last week, we have the honor of having a guest speaker today. I also wanted to reintroduce myself for those that are new. I'm Angela Castellanos, and I'm the School and Community Liaison for the Center for Applied Research Solutions. And again, we're going to have Heidi Cisneros, who's our guest presenter for today's session. Next slide. And we are here on behalf of the Orange County Healthcare Agency to support the promotion of student mental health and wellness for the K-12 school community. We are one of the 4 projects under the Orange County School Mental Health School Initiative, and we are the Resource Directory project. Next slide. And this is today's journey. So during the past few sessions, we've been showcasing a variety of different resources available. And we're going to do the same today, but it's going to be a little bit different. Well, not the same, right? But we're going to have the guest speaker showcasing our resource for today and have an opportunity to have a little bit of a dialogue in regards to some feedback and information to today's resource. Next slide. Also, even though that this is a very quick, last week I mentioned a little bit about, it's almost like a speed dating for resources, getting you familiarized and connected to wonderful products that are out there. We want to just remind you that you don't have to memorize everything. We're going to be sending you the information after today's session. And also the session's being recorded and it's going to be about 30 minutes or so. Again, if it's not as interactive as possible, but we're inviting you to participate and ask questions to the guest presenter. And then also we do have a poll that we want you to participate in later on. So if you can get your browsers ready, if you're able to open up a separate browser so that you're able to connect to the polling link and connect with us later on. So we're going to do this piece later.
Angela, we have breaking news from the field.
What? There's breaking news?
That's right.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So Heidi Cisneros, she's out in the field. What breaking news do we have in the aspect of suicide prevention?
Yes, Angela, I'm here at Suicide Prevention Unified School District, and I am so impressed with the spirit of our youth. I have had the opportunity to interview several today, and I want to tell everyone what they have to say is so compelling, and they are so committed to this idea of suicide prevention and being there for each other. I was able to get lots of it on video. Do we have time to show that video?
Absolutely. Ingrid, please roll the footage. Wow, this is exciting news, Heidi.
Yes, I am just so impressed with the leadership, the compassion and passion of all of these students. Short video, but memorable.
Here to perform, so let's go Jaguars! Let's go
Jaguars! My name is Isabel Valerio, and I'm the Vice President of We Care, or Mental Health Awareness, here at Segerstrom High School.
Hi, my name is Victoria Doe, and I'm the President.
And we started mental health awareness, or the We Care program, here at school because I felt like I saw a lot of kids at school, a lot of my peers struggling, and there wasn't a lot of help, mainly because there was such a stigma and they felt so horrible about themselves, feeling like something was wrong. And I knew from personal experience that nothing is wrong, there isn't a problem, and you just need help, and getting help is okay. And
Yeah, same for me. We both met each other in track last year, so we actually talked to each other about mental illness, and we also have our own experiences with it. So we were talking to each other, and we're like, wow, there's a lot of people in the school and just in general, high schoolers that have a lot of mental illness and that we can't reach out because there's so much negative association with mental health. So we decided to create a club where we educate or try to spread awareness through our school and possibly through our community. And definitely we've made a lot of progress over the last year, and we're very happy to see that a lot of students are very open about it.
I am Dr. Vivian Fan, school psychologist here at Segerstrom High School. And today we were launching the We Care campaign. It's just super important for our students to know that we care about them, each and every one of them, and that we're here to help. And we just wanted to make sure they knew where to find us and that our doors are always open to them.
My name is Bianca Soto, and this is the We Care Day. And I think it's really important because it just brings awareness to the situation of students having problems inside and out of school, and it tells them that we do care about them and they have people to talk to.
We're all right here up in the counseling and front office, and our doors are always open. We're more than happy to help any of our students anytime.
So if you guys want to join the MHA club, or we renamed it We Care, so you can come out to Ms. Dugan's room, E204, I believe. And we meet every other Wednesday, so we'll be meeting during both lunches. And basically all we do is we try to focus on a different kind of stigma or mental illness each meeting, and we try to educate you on how to reach out for help or encourage others to reach out.
My name's Alyssa, and we did this to show to kids that they matter and that it's okay to not be okay, and they can just not be ashamed of it and get some help, because they really do matter and their lives are at stake, and it's not just them that get affected, it's everyone around them.
Can you believe it?
Wow.
Beautiful work.
This is amazing. Like I felt the spirit. It reminded me of when I was implementing campaigns in schools, and you can just feel the energy that the kids really brought life to this particular campaign. So Heidi, tell us, how can the audience learn more about this suicide prevention campaign?
Well, I think the footage, you know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So what you saw there was a culmination of a top performing high school in Orange County, also performing at a top-notch level when it comes to social emotional issues, mental health issues. So what we were able to do is, with the help of Tina Rocha and yourself, Angela, as a team, we were able to put together the most outstanding resources throughout the county to essentially design a suicide school-based prevention campaign. It's a step-by-step guide. It talks about all the key pieces, target areas, strategies, lessons learned, so that all our folks out there in the community, as well as our schools, can meet, work together, and implement these campaigns in the most efficient, effective manner possible.
Wow, this sounds like a really fantastic resource. Can you walk us through this particular resource that you created?
Certainly. I think some of the most important things is that although all of us are super helpers in this field, we can't do this alone. And so we really need to strategize on putting together a prevention task force. And we highlight who should be on that task force, the different roles, their contributions, and how that truly impacts the sustainability of the program. We also highlight a lot of the branding and the marketing, which is really critical to the program. I think you saw in the video folks wearing shirts with the We Care hearts, the We Care posters. That's a wonderful theme, but of course, anyone can come up with a theme that means something to them and means something to the students. And of course, having students involved is also critical. We have provided activity guides, monthly guides with themes in it. I know that was a specialty of Tina. She was really great at allocating all the information where you can align, you know, thematic months like Suicide Prevention Month with your campaign, or Mental Health Awareness Month with the campaign. So just so many ideas, resource cards for families. And of course, what would a campaign be without protocols? Our staff must understand reporting protocols. So there are some templates of protocols inside the packet as well.
This, you know, as I'm going through this particular resource, and audience, please feel free to open up the link that was placed in the chat. So you can actually go, come along with us to review this resource. So I'm looking at the resource right now, and in the beginning parts of it, it talks about this Assembly Bill 2246. How do these campaigns connect to that?
Well, as many of you know, with the AB 2246, several stipulations were outlined, mandates for districts, creating a board policy around suicide prevention, including administrative regulations, creating and implementing services to prevent suicide throughout your schools, having response services, and of course, targeting our most vulnerable populations, our foster youth, homeless youth, LGBT youth, ensuring that we have unique resources that can support their needs. And so in response to that legislation, a large task force was put together, and we started developing pieces that responded to each of those items. Of course, you've got to start with your board policy, because you've got to be sure that that school board is on the same page as your task force and also supports it. Essentially, what's interesting here is the legislation came with no funding, but honestly, these type of campaigns are low budget, because it's really about rallying the resources, the human capital, the student capital, as far as their efforts and passion, and getting everyone involved so that this campaign touches everyone throughout the district, staff and students.
This wonderful, wonderful pieces. Are these the law was updated a couple of years ago in regards to supporting students that are in the lower grades, like elementary level.
Yes.
So this particular resource guide support that as well?
Absolutely. This is a template that provides a framework. If you will, it's giving you a head start. It's helping prevent you from hitting some of the speed bumps that occurred for us the first few times. It's a strategy map, if you will. However, there's so much flexibility and opportunities for customization. Districts need to think about what's unique about the culture of their schools, their community, what are the needs, what do people respond to? And of course, we have to think about who's in our schools. We have our Gen Z students in school, and we know that although they are the most connected generation, they are also the most disconnected. And that's why we have this surge in suicide ideation and completions. And so what we looked at is focusing on encouraging the students to reach out to each other and reach out on each other's behalf, because we know that Gen Z students will sit side by side and not tell each other that they're feeling ideation or feeling depressed or loneliness, but they'll put it out on their Instagram or some other form of social media while they're sitting next to this person. And so our campaign focused on that. But again, everyone has to choose or design or define what is specific to their community. Also, different departments can do different things. Believe it or not, this campaign included nutrition services, included the health services office. It wasn't just the social workers, school psychs, or school counselors. This is about everyone in the community participating. It means a lot to a student when they go through the lunch line and that person has the We Care logo on their sleeve. That says something. It says, I'm here for you, that I've taken that step to show you that I care. And honestly, when students would see the heart or we'd ask them about it, we'd get these great big smiles. So we know it meant something to them.
Yeah, and it's very interesting that you mentioned that, because we know that 70% of students receive services in schools. So what you're saying is that it's important to engage the entire school community, so everybody's part of that continuum of support. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely. And I want to emphasize that although it takes a little bit of effort to get this going initially, you spread the work through all these different roles and all these different departments that participate together. I want to emphasize that this is a tier 1 level prevention. And it's critical because, as many of you know, you are on the front line for those tier 3 responses, right? When you get the ideation call, when you get the risk assessment call. And so there are not enough practitioners to go around to truly serve those needs at that level. but we can create these type of activities and campaigns that will truly impact the students at that tier 1 level, where 80% feel more connected, feel more cared for, feel more comfortable to reach out at an earlier stage where we can increase our prevention services. And ultimately that will reduce our tier 3 level needs, and we can put more energy in reinforcing that tier 1.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because I was part of another news story, and one of the presenters talked about how we're very focused on hiring so much more support staff, right, to address the acuity level of students. We know that there's an increase in anxiety and depression. However, the prevention component really, research really supports that it decreases those aspects, right?
Absolutely. It's not new research when we talk about the power of peer support, right? We all are familiar with that. And we need to encourage our students or support them. In fact, at this school, it was the students' idea to have a mental health club. The adults could not take credit for that. They chose to have a mental health club because, again, one of the wonderful things about Gen Z is they are very comfortable talking about these issues. And so, so they created this club, which sends a message that it's okay not to be okay, just like that one student said in the quote. And so we have the cheerleaders doing a We Care cheer. We have, you could see the tables in the video. Those were all resources that had come from the community to that high school to say, hey, students, we're here for you. And so we want to really rally that energy of our students. And also we know that when students are involved in these causes, it's healing for them as well. We're preventing them from being disconnected and feeling isolated.
And then one of the pieces right now that there's been a shift, right, for in-person learning or virtual, right? So things have shifted a lot. Are all of these interventions or strategies, can they also be completed or done virtually?
Yes. Again, it's about creative energy. So when you put together your task force, everyone has different abilities and ideas and ways of reaching out. So yes, there are many activities you can do online. Lots of school organizations are now meeting after school on Zoom. Some of the clubs that were really involved with We Care included like the Gay Straight Alliance clubs. Many of those groups had meetings online and would plan We Care activities as well.
You mentioned something earlier about funding, right? So some of these campaigns can be done at a minimal cost, or maybe partner up with organizations such as Western Youth Services. Yesli Fuentes mentioned that there's lunch clubs at local schools to provide a safe space for students to feel safe and speak on SEL topics. Also, there's different organizations that provide community engagement funding, like scholarships, things of that nature. I remember one time at one of the school districts where I worked, we did we applied for a community engagement funds through Kaiser Permanente to be able to create some of these campaigns, and students were able to create videos and also their own presentations and they went out into the classroom setting to engage other students to access support and resources when they need it.
Yeah, so many of the resources are already embedded in our schools. Most high schools have a digital media club. And in fact, in this case, all of our schools created their own high school video. And we also had a district video. So that's no cost. We just got involved with the class. With the t-shirts, staff bought the t-shirts on their own. And again, that was a way of making a commitment. And there was a $2 donation on top of it. And that paid for t-shirts for the students. So students who participated in clubs got free t-shirts. We asked the district for a minimal printing budget. So we printed about 1 million stickers so that everyone had We Care hard stickers to put where they needed to, and posters were up. Those type of things. We used a lot of our mall LEA billing. We used grant funding, all of those type of things. And we know now that there are many resources to promote mental health awareness and healing and treatment and prevention. And so many of those resources can easily be reallocated to this campaign and the activities of the campaign.
Yeah, that's great information. I'm very curious to find out more about this particular resource guide. I know that there's a step-by-step implementation process. how long did it take for all of this process, the buy-in to just kind of be implemented?
Well, again, that's where it's important to get that board policy together with a small group and get that board commitment, and then have your key players from different departments. Essentially the activities can be kicked off very quickly, and you have to be careful not to overwhelm yourself with too much too fast, but also come up with the 1 year, 2 year, 3-year plan, right? So, you want that board policy, your task force, and some really basic campaign activities to take place the first year. Second year, you want to do perhaps some intensive training and some more outreach into the community. Third year, we asked the schools to put on their own special event. And we even had a district-wide event where on one specific day, every school had We Care activities going on. So you don't want to overwhelm yourself. The key here is to say, hey, how about your department? What could you do? What could you do in your department? And so when everyone participates as a piece of the puzzle, you get this great, campaign piece together.
Yeah. And it's also reminded me that these types of activities can also not just be incorporated with the students, but also as colleagues, right? So you can even create your own mental health awareness components. In one of the previous school districts I worked, we did a Monday mental health awareness day for administrators. So I would, write out a little blog and send out information about wellness and self-care. It was almost like a blog, right? And everybody really resonated with that information, had good connections. They had really good resources. So that's a nice process for everybody to be involved with mental health supports.
Yes, and community partners such as Western Youth did come in and they provided, resources or workshops for parents, etc., on different nights at different schools. So we had at least 6 different community representatives on our task force. So again, spreading the work, spreading the resources, and just including everyone in that picture.
Yeah, one of the things that I really appreciated about this resource also is that it's not just for Suicide Prevention Month, right? It can be spread out through the entire year as almost like an outline, right? So you have August, September, October, right? So you can start incorporating some of those pieces there as well.
Well, as all of you know out there, ideations do not only occur in Suicide Prevention Month. Unfortunately, they are occurring throughout the year. And so the campaign has to be a long-term strategy. So the idea is when a student walks into a campus that they see staff wearing We Care shirts, they see posters, they see that the health offices has a door decorating contest with the We Care. Everyone has something different going on. What we would do is ask different folks to sponsor different months so that there was always something new and unexpected, kept it fresh and interesting.
Wow. I'm just going to wrap it up because, we could keep talking about this breaking news for hours, right? I think what's one of the last highlights you want to give folks in the audience about creating suicide prevention campaigns?
Again, going to the experts, our clients, our students, bringing them in and giving them support to run with it. Let them run with what they think is important to them. And, the quality of the videos that were created, you saw, those amazing, talented young ladies in the video who commented on the activities. Again, identify those students and let them run with this. And they just impress every time.
Yeah, they are. They just need that space to do so, right? And you have one surprise. You have a surprise for the audience.
Yes.
What's that surprise? What's that surprise?
Well, we appreciate everyone being here. So we have some prizes, right? So we have a gift card for the person who can first tell us in the chat room. So everyone get your fingers ready. What is the age of mental health issues onset?
All right. So that means that we have one $25 gift card for one lucky winner who can answer this question in the chat. All right. So what is the age the mental health problems or onset begins at what age? So we have different ages here, 11, 13, 13, 6, 4. We have a wide range of answers, right? So we'll give it another 10 seconds or so. If you have any last minute changes, you want to change your number there? Terry says no specific age. It can depends, right? We're looking at the nurture versus nature kind of piece here. Well, Heidi, what is the answer?
The magic number today is 14. 14 is that age for most common occurrence or onset of mental health issues.
Mm-hmm. And so it's common for teens to act out during this time, right? So we're looking at those pieces, but it's the research that basically is telling us that it starts by the age of 14. An average of 11 years will pass after the onset of symptoms before a person seeks help for mental health symptoms, right? So this is why it's so important for us to bring awareness, bring that information to the school community, to the kids, to be able to prevent some of these acuity issues to occur, right? All right, so since we had a variety of different answers, we do want somebody to win this. So
I feel like I like the no specific age because that just shows that we truly have to be aware at all ages because, of course, each person we work with is unique and different. Mm-hmm. So that's a great perspective.
Yeah. So Terry will be the winner. Terry, if you can provide we have your registration information, but if you can just provide your email address so we can get you the gift card. Thank you so much for participating. And Heidi, this has been such an honor for you to share this resource and information. And I'm so excited about bringing this awareness to the community. So thank you so much for those breaking news.
Thank you. It's been great to be here with everyone. And remember, our students need us and will support these efforts. So bring them in the loop. Thanks.
Yes, thank you.
See you next time.
All right. Bye. Stay safe out there.